What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Minhunter Comics, and I thought I'd tell you a story about last week when I went to check out a collection, and the guy had it in his head that his collection was worth probably 10 times more than it actually was. This is not an uncommon phenomenon. Frankly, out of every 10 collections that you see, it's kind of like Walking Dead seasons. One of them is going to be amazing, like 2 or 3 of them are going to be really good, a couple of them are going to be fine, and some of them are just not going to really work out, and there's probably one in there that's just astronomically not on the same page rough. And usually that happens when someone has an overinflated sense of what they've got. And sometimes it can happen with various websites where you plug your collection in. I highly encourage you to check out my video about the issue with some of those apps that overinflate the value of some things. I kind of got the vibe before I made this drive that it wasn't going to work out. I actually even paid for an extra hired hand to help me because I thought it was going to be more long boxes than what it actually was. Well, the dude texted me and wanted to know that he's like, well, hypothetically, if I have $6,000 here, what will you be giving me? And I said, well, first of all, it depends on the condition, the this and that. There's factors that go into that, but I'm going to take a look and I'll be upfront and honest with you and I'll give you a good value. But in my head, I'm thinking, there's $6,000 here. This is going to be pretty good. Well, I got there, and not only was it just 3 long boxes, but I looked through the first box and I was like, all right, there's probably 5, maybe 600, 700 would be a stretch in this box. And then box 2 and 3 was like 80s and 90s non-key filler action comics, stuff that, maybe I would put in a 50-cent bin. There was some slabs that he didn't want to sell, but I did make an offer on, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just the raws. Honestly, I offered him $500 on everything, and as I drove away, me and my helper were kind of saying $500 was way too high. If you're paying $500 on a collection where there's $600 on, the amount of man hours you put into it, and the fact that I hired someone and drove over an hour, I'm way in the hole already. I basically should have offered probably like $200, maybe $250 max. Regardless, there was probably $700 there in raws. I offered $500. It might have even been $550, and the guy didn't even counter, which just goes to show you in his head, he really was thinking that there was like $6,000 there. Deal didn't happen. I respectfully, thank you for your time. No hard feelings, right? You can't get mad when a collection doesn't come through. It's okay. But it was interesting to note that he thought it was $6,000. But $6,000 was so much more that it's almost like, did you just choose a random number out of the ether? It's like how my sister chooses dudes to date. That is the most random thing you could have come up with. And it reminds me of a story, and I apologize if I've told this story before. It's possible that I have, but like a year ago, I was looking at a collection. And it was actually a lead from Bry's Comics. He's over in California. It was near my neck of the woods. And there was about $15,000 there. So there was a lot of work behind it because it was a lot of stuff. So I thought a fair offer was like $8,000, and then hopefully we'd agree on like 10, right? Well, that guy wanted something like, I think it was like $60,000 or $70,000 for his stuff. And truly there was only $15,000 there. And that was a year ago, which means in today's market, it's probably like 8 to 10,000. Man, it's a really good thing I didn't get that collection. But it just goes to show you, whenever I hear that people have looked up the fair market value on each book from certain websites that I'm not going to name in this video, immediately I hear that and I think, this isn't going to work out. Now, what both of those collections have in common was that one a year ago and the one last week, both those guys wanted 600 to 700% more than what I would hope to get for everything, not even what I'd be able to pay for the collection. Guys, be careful. It is really important to understand that the average comic book is worth 5 to 10 cents. Finding some random book from the 90s that's not a key and in okay condition is not worth $4 to $5. It's really not, man. And maybe people need to hear that more often, so there it is. There's a reason comic book shops will pay 5 to 10 cents for bulk, because frankly, that's about what it's worth. I get it. People don't like hearing that because it is your stuff, and nobody wants to hear that your stuff is worthless. Sometimes it may just be. Bulk is bulk. But how many of you think your collection is worth more than it actually is? Let's be honest with ourselves right here. I'm pretty sure we probably all do it, but how far do you take it? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get into some serious honesty. What do you think your collection is worth, and what do you think it's actually worth? As always, I will see you at the next video. Keep some realistic expectations out there and watch out for those websites that will lead you down a rabbit hole of thinking you're a millionaire when you're really like a hundredaire. See you at the next video. Keep on hunting. Make sure to come down to Sentiment Depot Antiques and Collectibles, where I'm set up with all of my comics, located at 238 West Delaware Ave, Pennington, New Jersey. Open every day except for Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy 10% off from Wednesday to Friday. See you there.